Good morning, America, and breaking overnight. Armed and dangerous. The manhunt going on right now for a gunman who opened fire on a Kentucky interstate. Police reporting 5 people shot, now identifying a person of interest.
New overnight, exploding inferno. Officials expanding evacuations from a fast-moving wildfire east of Los Angeles. The challenging conditions for the hundreds of firefighters battling the blaze.
Warning signs? The aunt of the suspect in the Georgia school shooting telling ABC News about a call Colt Gray's mother said she made to the school just before shots rang out. As we learn more about the new panic alarm system at the high school, which may have saved lives.
Massive protest. Israelis take to the streets demanding a ceasefire deal to free the hostages. Plus, the family of an American woman killed in the West Bank calling for an investigation.
Countdown to the debate, now just 2 days away. The candidates campaigning in battleground states, their high-stakes meeting. Analysis just ahead.
Sunday kickoff. Football lovers rejoicing for the first big weekend of the NFL season.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
The comebacks, the new faces, and the familiar ones. And who can forget the Taylor effect? We do have a lot of news to cover this morning. Of course, we will go live to the U.S. Open. There are all eyes on the men's final today. An American Taylor Fritz, after a new champion was crowned in the women's final yesterday. There's also a surprising announcement from WNBA rookie star Angel Reese.
All right, can't wait for that. Also ahead, when is the best time to get a flu shot? Is there such a thing as getting a vaccine too soon? So we're going to look at that.
Important information for so many at home, of course. But we do begin this morning with breaking news. An ongoing manhunt for the suspect police say shot 5 people along a Kentucky highway south of Lexington. ABC's Alex Presha starts us off there live this morning. Good morning to you, Alex.
Hey, Janae, the news of this shooting has startled this community, and they're waking up this morning to learn that this person of interest is still out there, considered armed and dangerous.
They have had multiple gunshot victims on I-75. The victims have been shot through the windshield.
This morning, the urgent manhunt after a shooting and crash on a Kentucky highway left several injured.
His car took the rounds on the driver's side.
And the busy interstate shut down for hours. Right now, police searching for this man, 32-year-old Joseph Couch, calling him a person of interest and armed and dangerous, but they have not been able to determine if he is the gunman. It happened around 5:30 Saturday evening, just north of London, a small city about 75 miles south of Lexington. Authorities saying 9 vehicles traveling both north and southbound were shot at, leaving 5 people shot, including one in the face, 2 other injuries in a crash.
A couple of our deputies actually, because of the severity of the injuries, loaded the people up, the injured persons, and transported them to London Hospital.
Overnight, London's mayor warning residents to stay home, be vigilant, and call 911 if they're in danger. The shooting and crash closing I-75 for more than 3 hours as first responders converged on the area.
It was a madhouse, people on the sides of the road, emergency flashers going, bullet holes, windows shot out.
Christina Donato was heading southbound to Tennessee along with her friend.
All of a sudden, we just heard this loud, deafening sound, and my right ear started ringing, and we didn't know what the sound was, but we both looked at each other and said, "Was that a gunshot?" When she arrived in Knoxville, this damage on her car, now thinking a bullet may have hit or ricocheted off of it. And this morning, as this manhunt continues, they're going to be focusing on the area around the city of London. It's very rugged, authorities believing that this person of interest could be hiding out there. Wait.
All right, Alex Presha with that breaking news for us. Thank you. And overnight, a wildfire east of Los Angeles exploding in size, prompting expanded evacuations there. Firefighters battling the flames in triple-digit temperatures. ABC's Zoreen Shah is joining us from Highland, California, with the latest. Zoreen, good morning.
With this fire exploded overnight. Just a bit ago, there was the sounds of chainsaw buzzing in this area. Firefighters were cutting down trees. They were clearing out space. They were aggressively trying to get this region under control. This morning, an explosive California wildfire forcing hundreds of evacuations and creating its own weather system. Oh my God! Making it even harder to fight. Watch as the fire jumps over a major highway, the 330 in San Bernardino County. The line fire growing to over 17,000 acres in just a few hours and 0% contained. This woman packing her belongings into the back of her truck, and this video showing slow traffic backed up for miles. More than 8,000 structures threatened, 3 firefighters injured. The fire creating clouds similar to ones in thunderstorms, with reports of more than 3,000 lightning strikes in the area. All of this coming as much of Southern California faces triple-digit temperatures, with many places over 20 degrees hotter than usual for this time of year. Multiple departments all trying to bring the fire under control. Meanwhile, another fire, the Davis fire in Washoe County, Nevada, has grown to 1,500 acres and taken down 6 structures. Gio?
All right, Zoreen, thank you so much. And we're going to turn now to the Georgia school shooting, and we are learning much more now about what happened that morning. The alleged shooter's mom reportedly calling the school with a warning just a half hour before that shooting. And ABC's Faith Abube is in Winder, Georgia this morning. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Gio. Lots of questions this morning about whether the suspect's mother called the school with an ominous warning the morning of the shooting. This as we're also learning that the suspect allegedly shot 13 people in just over a minute. This morning, new details emerging about the suspect in the Georgia high school shooting from family members and a classmate about what they say happened the morning of the shooting. Cole Gray's aunt telling ABC News details first reported in the Washington Post that the 14-year-old's mother called a school counselor the morning of the shooting to warn them about an extreme emergency. The Post reporting that the suspect's mother texted her sister, saying she told the school counselor to go immediately and find her son to check on him. The 10-minute call apparently came at 9:50 a.m., according to the suspect's aunt, nearly a half hour before the suspect allegedly opened fire.
You don't think like the kid that sits next to you in class is just gonna like shoot up your school one day?
16-year-old Lila Sayarath says the suspect walked out of her class, minutes later appearing back at the classroom door trying to get back in. Barrow County Sheriff Judge Smith confirming the shooting lasted about a minute. According to authorities, 2 school resource officers then finding the suspect allegedly holding an AR-15 style rifle.
They ended the carnage at that distance. With what he had and what we had, it was a no-win situation.
Smith says local law enforcement agents quickly arrived at the scene thanks to an emergency alert system the county installed just 1 week earlier. That system, a badge given to each teacher with a button on it like this one. When pushed, it acts like GPS, pinpointing exactly where the emergency is happening in the building.
26 teachers hit that button. It's a school. It's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a safe place for kids.
And the sheriff says he's not aware of any alleged phone calls to the school warning them before the shooting. The school district declined to comment. In the meantime, though, the suspect was in court on Friday, but did not enter a plea. Janae?
Certainly raising even more questions. Faith, thank you. To the presidential race and our countdown to Tuesday's debate here on ABC. Now just 2 days until the first face-to-face meeting for the former president and Vice President Kamala Harris. ABC White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is where Harris's team has been prepping. Good morning to you, Mary Alice.
Yeah, Janae, good morning. This is the hotel where Vice President Kamala Harris has been studying the last few days. She did venture out briefly yesterday to visit a local shop, talk to some voters, while former President Trump held his last rally before the big debate. Just 2 days before his scheduled debate with Kamala Harris, Donald Trump lowering expectations overnight, saying he won't get treated fairly.
You know, if I destroy her in the debate, they'll say, Trump suffered a humiliating defeat tonight.
At his rally in central Wisconsin, the former president offering a potential preview of attack lines, accusing the vice president of covering up an issue around President Biden's health, but also spending much of his speech with familiar attacks against immigrants, saying if he does not win, states like Colorado will be, quote, taken over.
We may have no country left. It may be our last election.
Former Republican Vice President Dick Cheney this weekend writing that it is Trump who is the threat to our republic, adding he tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He can never be trusted with power again, saying he plans to vote for Harris. The vice president telling reporters she is honored to have both Cheney and his daughter Liz Cheney's endorsements.
For people like the folks I was just talking with, it really reinforces for them that we love our country and we have more in common than what separates us.
Harris, taking a break from debate prep in Pittsburgh, asked if she's ready for the big debate. Harris sounding confident.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Now, after Cheney's announcement, a lot of questions about what his former running mate, former President George W. Bush, would do. But his office overnight confirming to ABC News that he does not have any plans to make an endorsement in this race or even say how he will vote in November. Whip.
Mary Alice Parks, thanks so much. Let's bring in ABC News Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl, who'll be hosting This Week later this morning, and our political director and D.C. Bureau Chief Rick Klein. Good morning to the both of you. Rick, let's go ahead and start with you and the polling heading into this debate. Where do things stand right now nationally, and has there been any recent shift in momentum?
Yeah, we had a poll out about a week ago that had Kamala Harris with a decent-sized lead, up about 6 points among likely voters in our ABC Ipsos poll. But we've seen some tightening in the race even since then. The latest 538 polling average has Harris up by about 3 points, and a real sign the momentum has shifted in this race back in the other direction. Just with a poll out this morning from the New York Times in Siena, that poll actually has Donald Trump up by a single point, all within the margin of error, but still an indication of just how close this race is. And any of the momentum that Harris seemed to have over the last couple of months appears to have dissipated.
Yeah, just a razor-thin margin there. And we know, Rick, that this is all going to be decided in those battleground states. How are things shaping up there?
Yeah, and there's only 7 big battleground states. The map really hasn't changed. And when Joe Biden left the race, he was trailing in all of those states. Donald Trump was ahead in all of them. Right now, though, it is a bit of a different portrait. You see all of those red places are turning a little bit bluer, but only a little bit. Right now, Harris leading in 5 of the 7 states that are considered battlegrounds. That includes right here in Pennsylvania, where the debate will be on Tuesday night. But you see that margin, less than a percentage point separating the two. It is going to be as tight as ever in those battleground states, almost certainly.
All right, Rick, thank you. And John, let's go to you here. Based on those numbers here, give us a sense of what's at stake for each candidate and what they need to accomplish in this debate.
Well, for Kamala Harris, I think one thing you saw in that New York Times poll is that the persuadable voters, the thing that you hear over and over again, is that they need to know more about where Kamala Harris actually stands on the issue. The Times poll also showed that 47% of voters say that she's too liberal compared to just 32% who say Trump is too conservative. That shows that she needs this debate to help define herself in the eyes of Americans. She's also going to try to get under Donald Trump's skin to remind voters, to let Donald Trump remind voters of the chaotic nature of his presidency. For Trump, it's getting through and not appearing to be the unhinged, out-of-control candidate that he has been portrayed by Democrats. So they both have a lot to accomplish here. They both have a lot to accomplish here.
Yeah, his team saying they want him to stay focused on the issues as much as he can. Yeah. John, you also have that exclusive interview with Liz Cheney coming up on This Week. What's the significance of that endorsement from her and her father, Dick Cheney, for Kamala Harris? And does it have any real impact on this race?
You know, I'm not sure what the impact is going to be, but we should take a moment and realize how extraordinary this moment in our politics are. Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney both had been seen as two of the most conservative Republicans in the land and partisan Republicans. The fact that they have taken this extraordinary step, not only to say that Donald Trump is unfit for office, but that they would endorse Kamala Harris is significant. And look at the others, other prominent Republicans, most of the prominent Republican figures of the last 20 years, people like Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney, Mike Pence, Donald Trump's own vice president, members of the McCain family, who have also come out and said that they will not be supporting Donald Trump. That is very significant. We'll see what rank and file Republican voters say. And I must say one other thing. Mary Alice mentioned that the former president, George W. Bush, is not making an endorsement. That's hugely significant. Here you have, you know, the surviving former Republican president who's not named Donald Trump saying that he will not be endorsing his party's nominee, that's a major moment as well.
Yeah, all of this highlighting the major shift in the political landscape.
Yeah.
Jonathan, Karl, Rick, Klein, to both of you, thanks so much as always. Again, you can see the first presidential debate live on Tuesday night right here on ABC. And be sure to tune into This Week later this morning to see John's exclusive interview with Liz Cheney. Gio?
All right, Whit, and overseas now to Israel, where tens of thousands of people once again filled the streets to demand a deal to free Israeli hostages in Gaza, and the family of an American woman killed in the West Bank is demanding an investigation. ABC's Marcus Moore is in Jerusalem with the latest now. Good morning, Marcus.
Gio, good morning. We are getting word of some breaking news. Details are still coming in, but authorities here say that a truck driver has shot and killed 3 Israeli police officers at the Allenby Bridge crossing. That's right along the border there between Israel and Jordan. That gunman has been killed, and we're still waiting for word on a motive for the attack. In the meantime, tens of thousands of people flooded the streets of Tel Aviv last night, demanding a ceasefire deal.
Overnight, a sea of people flooding the streets in Tel Aviv. Demonstrators demanding the Israeli government accept a ceasefire and hostage release deal to secure the return of more than 100 hostages still in captivity in Gaza.
We cannot sacrifice life. We cannot sacrifice them. Life is sacred.
The scenes, evidence of the mounting pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to accept a deal, but strong differences remain. The U.S., Qatar, and Egypt working to facilitate a deal, but this morning a breakthrough still seems elusive, nearly a year into the war. This all comes as the Israeli army withdrew its heavy armor from cities in the occupied West Bank after the largest incursion in 2 decades, leaving at least 40 dead. We went to the West Bank town of Tulkarem and saw heavily damaged roads, homes, and businesses. And just days ago, American-Turkish activist Ashanur Egi was shot and killed by the IDF while she, peace activists, and locals protested the expansion of settlements. The IDF claiming their forces were under threat, saying they fired, quote, toward an instigator of violent activity who'd been throwing rocks at their forces. Despite the IDF claims, Jonathan Pollock said there was no reason for Egi's death, claiming that the University of Washington graduate was targeted.
There was nothing happening at the time. It was completely quiet. He took that kill shot, and it was a kill shot.
The IDF says the circumstances of her death are under review. And this morning, that IDF review, we understand, continues. And while the IDF says they're investigating the circumstances around her death, Egi's family is demanding an independent investigation. And Gio, just a quick word on that shooting at the border crossing. We understand this morning that all of Jordan's border crossings into Israel are closed until further notice, and that is significant because a lot of the humanitarian aid that goes to Gaza comes across that border. Gio.
All right, and all of this happening as we approach that year mark since October 7th. All right, Marcus, thank you so much.